What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Doggie Diamonds. You are now listening to No Filter Podcast. No filter means honesty. If you're afraid of honesty, then this ain't the podcast for you. We gonna be honest today. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Doggie Diamonds. Doggie Diamonds TV live. We here.
All the way live.
We gonna turn this into a no filter because we got a lot of shit that we want to talk about.
We're not.
Yeah, so we got Tad in the building. We got DJ Big Inf in the building. We gonna talk today and shit. We got so much to talk about. What you on, number 4, Inf? This is all audio. Yeah. Hold up, you number. Say something.
1, 2.
You are number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, you're number 5.
Power.
So, all right, I want to start this right here, right now, and just go on the record and just say, I stand with Dr. Umar Johnson, straight up and down.
Okay.
I'm just gonna just put that out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Because,
shout out to Umar.
And people know me and him had like a little spat. It wasn't nothing too crazy.
Yeah,
it was
light. It was light.
I said what I said. He returned fire. I returned fire, and it was just left like that. But it wasn't nothing to whereas, I want to run down or, he got to, it wasn't nothing like that, And actually how I responded to him is what he's doing now in the time that he on right now is what I wanted from him.
Okay.
I wanted that warrior from him. I wanted that spirit of, we not playing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Ted.
Nah, I was going to say, because I agree 100%, but knowing Dr. Umar, spending time around him, building with him, that warrior spirit has to be developed because he need the support team.
He need the warriors.
He need the warriors because he really feel like he's in it by himself. And last time we were together was at Mama Maddox's memorial service. God bless her. That's Alton, the attorney at war.
Yeah.
Alton Maddox, who Al Sharpton bigged his career up over. That's the brother that held down Tawana Brawley because Tawana Brawley did not lie, contrary to what the media may think. And the Queen Mother, Leola is her name, Leola Maddox. She's responsible for almost every black scholar on and off YouTube that you have seen on and off YouTube coming back and forth through New York. I'm talking about from Dr. Umar, from our brother, the irritated genie of Southeast, from Dr. Khalid Muhammad, to Dr. John Henry Clark, to Dr. Amos Wilson, to Dick Gregory. You name any of your favorite black scholars, she was responsible for them coming through.
Nice.
Any of them will tell you, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? We got a chance to kick it real quick, you know what I'm saying? But I had wanted to build with him on some deeper stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because we had some meetings before in the past, before people knew who Dr. Umar was. So him holding it down, dog, was nothing new because that's always been his position. The only thing, that's the first time we seen well-known syndicated coons try to attack him on a platform because they tried to jump the brother.
Except for the one,
the elder?
Pop, the elder was going on.
Attorney Scott.
I can't really.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, I'm about to say because I don't know too much about him, but he was in agreement. But he was just around so many fuck boys and fuck girls that he just fell, to the naked eye. He fell right with them. You know what I'm saying?
And that's because.
So he got unfairly thrown into the panel.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to big him up and say he wasn't on that time.
And exactly because that's our people lack of discernment. That shows you that they third eye is not open. Everybody talking about they woke. Well, we've been insomniacs. We ain't never been asleep.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying? But we wasn't even in school, but we were still reading books that was relative to us. So when you sit there, you can't throw the elder in the mix because then you have to critique. What did he say that made him a coon? And you can't because he said, I got to agree with you.
Yeah. And what I don't like is that when you on a panel, on any type of panel, when the elder starts speaking, everybody's supposed to just fall back and let him build. You understand what I'm saying? Even if he about to say some bullshit, you let it come out and then you rebut and come back.
Respectfully.
When what I didn't like was when Umar was trying to state his his premise on certain things, they was cutting him off.
Yeah.
So I looked at it like it was an ambush, straight up and down. Dr. Boyce Watkins said something too on Twitter today.
Shout out to Dr. Boyce.
Yeah, that was very, very.
He do rock with Forbes DVD.
Yeah.
Word.
One thing that Dr. Boyce Watkins said that was very, very important today. He said if Roland Martin had to talk to or did what he did to Hillary Clinton, if he had to did that to Hillary Clinton to what he did to Umar Johnson, he would be out of a job. Right. And that's the funny thing about black people with black people. We have no care. We have, no remorse and no love. But when it comes to anybody else outside of us, we handle motherfuckers with kids' glove because they're going to come down on you and they're going to fight. With us, we try to justify why shit happens to people. Besides people just being fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Now, my thing is this. I've done interviews. I've done hostile interviews. I've done interviews that I knew might potentially be hostile based on the line of questioning. Yeah. Now, I didn't really have a problem with Roland Martin himself was asking him because he was asking him the questions that everybody wanted to know, which Dr. Umar has answered thousands of times. But in poor journalism is this. If I see Big Inf do an interview, and your interview was viral and it was big, if somebody answers certain questions on your interview, I'm not going to redo your interview. If I do, I'm going to say, well, in the interview with DJ Big Inf, no matter how I feel about you, because I have to use you as a point of reference, especially if we're talking about the same thing. Now what people are doing with journalism is they're seeing that somebody did an interview, and instead of them using this interview as a point of reference, because this is where the whole narrative come from, they act like they reinvented the wheel.
This is the copy and paste.
They're acting like they're asking them some brand new shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When it already went viral. So everybody and their mama has asked Dr. Umar where he's went to school at, what's his school, what's his educational background. He has answered that many times. Yeah. Everybody has asked him how much money he's raised. He's answered that. But my thing with the people is this. Why are people so concerned about where's his credentials and how is he a doctor when how the fuck is Dr. Oz a doctor? How the fuck is Dr. Phil a doctor? How do we know? We don't know. It just says he's Dr. Phil. And because he's a white man and say I'm Dr. Phil, we automatically believe him.
But the sad part for Roland Martin, because I watch Roland Martin almost every morning, when I get up in the morning, he come on TV 1, 7 o'clock, right? He always talks about he fact checks. And this is the thing that killed me, to your point. Why didn't he fact check none of this stuff before he got Dr. Umar on so the questions would already be clear? And then, because that's why I would say Roland Martin sold out with that one. Because you're supposed to be smarter and you're supposed to know better. As a journalist, you're supposed to do your background investigation and everything. But instead, he chose to fold his arms, get in a combative position, and then start badgering him. It really wasn't a line of question. It was badgering because you took it from Black Twitter, who Black Twitter has had a problem with African-centered, Pan-African black people all along, because Black Twitter, Black Lives Matter, and the likes are integration movements of the new millennium. They're no different than the NAACP of the 60s, except now they wear dashiki and wear their natural hair, but they'll still lay up with Europeans. They still will lay up with the same sex and do all kinds of other stuff that's counterproductive to what it is to get black people further. Because a lot of times we got to ask the things we do, is it helping us or is it hurting us? So with the folks that be on Black Twitter, they're just, I want to say they're college educated from a Eurocentric perspective, but they just painted chocolate and then act like they're better than brothers like you and I, who are just regular laymen, but do a lot of studying, like a Dr. Clark, like a Dr. Bent, like a Malcolm X.
And Black Twitter is is sort of like the conscious community because it's something that doesn't exist. There is no place, but Black Twitter is a group of individuals that have the same ideologies and thought patterns and typing patterns, just like some within the conscious community. It's like
that group think.
Yeah, the group think shit. But the issue is this, like even with Black Twitter and shit, I don't partake in none of that shit because, first of all, I don't own Twitter. I don't have any fucking stake in Twitter. So Black Twitter doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? People want to criticize and critique Dr. Umar based off of certain things. Now, we all deserve criticism when it's warranted, but only from people who invest in you. See, I had somebody come on my YouTube and say to me the other day, yo, we got a right to criticize you. I said, no, you don't. Because if you didn't donate to my cause, you can't criticize my cause. If you're not helping me, how could you criticize? If I say to somebody, yo, your stairs are very, very rickety, and when I walk up your stairs, they make a squeaking noise, but then at the top of the stairs, they have a sign to say, donate to help me fix the stairs. How could I pop shit about the stairs if they're openly telling me they need help fixing the fucking stairs? Right. Why would I pop shit? And that's what people do. You see on my shit, I say, yo, be a monthly supporter. I have a Patreon account. Be a supporter. Donate via PayPal. But motherfuckers is like, yo, I ain't giving you shit. I even got merch. Fuck it. You ain't got to give me nothing. You can buy something from me where you're getting something in return.
Fair exchange ain't no robbery.
This is what I'm saying. But people don't partake in what you're doing, but want to tell you what you should be doing. And I'm trying to tell people that this shit is not easy. I'm in the game, for our people to compete with these corporations that are trying to dictate and change what our culture is about. And y'all let them do it. But then when you have somebody that looks like you, who walk like you, talk like you, who come and say, yo, no. That's not what it's about. I'm going to go at it from the perspective of what we know, from what we live, what we breathe. You say, fuck that nigga. But when it come to Complex and when it come to all these other corporations, corporate sponsored joints, you run to that. And that's the problem. And this is, I want to go back to the Dr. Umar thing because we got to really, pull it off. But I wanted to talk about pro-black. Pro-black, people believe pro-black means anti-white. That's not what it means. The prefix pro means for. So if you're pro-black, that means you're for black people. That means you're for black. You're for your people. Now, when you're dealing with pro-black means if I'm pro-black, that means if it's a corner store, and it's an Indian, not the feather, the red dot, has a corner store, and 2-3 blocks down, it's a black-owned store, I'm just going to have to take that walk because I'm for my people.
Your people first.
My people
Race
first. So now the issue is that people keep saying I'm pro-black, but they're partnering up with the Pilgrims, the Europeans, but they keep saying they pro-black, and then they go on Twitter and they go on these platforms to talk all this black shit, and it look good, and you get retweets, but what have you done for black people? How are you pro-black if you see black men, women, and children doing things for black people, and you're not partnering up with that?
But see, now, it is funny because that's a dope point you just brought up, because, that was a question that was posed earlier today. Somebody said, can you be pro-black and still date white people? And that's what I love what the elder said when the coon tried to bring up the civil rights movement. Yeah. And the elder said, my mother was in the civil rights movement in Chicago, and she came home and privately complained that people are talking black but sleeping white. And that's the problem. It's a contradiction. And let me pull back the layers for you real quick and show you why it's a problem. If you're so pro-black and black people first, how are you trying to ensure that you create other black people if you're sleeping with non-black people? If you're sleeping with a European, if you're sleeping with a pilgrim, you're creating a mulatto class. But now you really have to read the book called The Irritated Genie by Dr. Jacob Carruthers and Dr. Chancellor Williams' book, The Destruction of the Black Civilization. And it will tell you all about the mulatto sabotages, our efforts to get free during our times of enslavement. But mulattoes are a whole new class, because then what happens with the mulattoes? Chances are many of them go off and start dealing with a white woman or a white man.
Jesse Williams.
Exactly. So what happens is the African bloodline starts to get diluted, and pretty soon it ain't gonna be no black people in your family. Case in point, look at the Jackson family. Remember, Michael Jackson, his brothers, and all them dark-skinned brown. But look at Mama Jackson's grandchildren. Look how light all of them are. And look at the choices of mates that they're making. Michael Jackson, if you didn't know that he was his kids, you wouldn't even know that. And are those his kids? That's still questionable. But look at them. They're straight pilgrims. But look at the choices they're making. But what does that mean? That means the Jackson inheritance pretty soon is going to be solely in the hands of white people. but y'all don't understand how the game go. So you can't say that I love black people, but you're not even committed to creating more black people.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? That is the contradiction. So how much do you love black people?
And again, when you're for black people, because this is the thing. This is what I want people to understand. Fuck what I think. Fuck what Tad think. This is what you are saying. You are saying that you're pro-black. Because
Right.
I don't give a fuck if you are or not. It don't make me no difference.
They should do like Tommy Sotomayor. He let it be known he don't like black folks.
This is what I'm saying.
Just get honest.
So that's the realest shit. But you got people who saying they're pro-black, but when it comes to anything black, they don't fuck with it. Now, my thing is this, because I'm pro-black, I'd rather go online and buy some shea butter from somebody before I go to Medina. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to give them a play. Now, and then doing that, a lot of us got to work on our customer service.
Word.
And we got to work on good business. But that's something that has to be taught that we didn't learn. We just trying to wing everything, and we on some monkey see, monkey do, you know, no pun intended with that shit, and no disrespect with saying that shit. But when we see another black person do something that's successful, we automatically assume that we can do it. That's why it's 4,000 black T-shirt lines. That's why it's 4,000 rappers. You understand what I'm saying? We don't ball players. We don't aspire to be great in other ways, and there's so many ways to be great. Listen, the dude that at the construction site waving the fucking flag might be making $18 an hour.
Yo, you know I didn't know crane operators get 6 figures?
Come on.
Crane operators get 6 figures. You go to school for, I think, 2 years. You go to school for 2 years, learn how to operate a crane, and you make 6 figures.
But now peep this. Everything is based on how you look when you're doing it.
Yeah.
If you get too dirty, if you come home dirty and you're not cool, then that's some bum ass shit. Because we base everything on the visuals. You know what I'm saying? So if a dude ain't going to work fresh, then you doing some bum shit. Or you a construction worker. Construction workers always made mad bread. Truck drivers always made 6 figures to this day.
Word.
You understand? You can imagine what they make now, because they was making 6 figures 20 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So with us, the reward always has to be some type of limelight. And if it ain't no limelight with it ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? When people saying, yo, I'm chasing this bag. Fucking money in the bag ain't shit. I want a suitcase full of money.
Word.
You understand what I'm saying? So pro-black means supporting more of your people. And that don't mean supporting your fucking mixtape, because that don't mean pro-black.
Trinidad ass mixtape.
You understand what I'm saying? That's not pro-black. Pro-black is merch, product. Everything that you have seen me with on, and every fucking podcast I did was a black person's clothing line. From the time you seen me, from every time you seen me, I had on either my shit or somebody else's shit. Facts. That's being pro-black. That's saying, what's that hat? Oh, this is an Africa hat, and you could get it from such and such.
Product placement.
This is Pan-African Designs. This is Pharaonic brand.
Shout out to my brother Pharaonic. Happy Born Day.
You understand what I'm saying? That's being pro-black. That's being pro your people. Not having going to get a new Yankee. Because the Steinbrenner family don't give a fuck about us. That's not being pro-black. So people need to redefine or learn what pro-black really is. Because if you really, really do the knowledge, you're not pro-black at all.
And you're right, because back to the Dr. Umar thing. This is the part that killed me. Everybody had a problem. Black people have a problem with him speaking up for black people. Now, see, this is the stuff that kills me, because black women are so disrespected right now. And I mean, Malcolm gave a lecture on that years ago. Peace be upon Malcolm X. But he said black women are the most disrespected, unprotected women out here. But when you look at it right now, what's wrong with a black man saying, yo, I exclusively love black women?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? But see, this is the psychosis that many of our people have, because other people get it. Black people are the only ones who don't get it, because even within Jewish families, when somebody is dating, the first thing they ask is they Jewish. Spanish people, Indian people, Arab people, Chinese people, Japanese people, and there's nothing wrong with self-preservation and loving yourself. But when people say people can love who they want to love, you start creating a narrative that's fictitious within itself. Because many of our lynchings was based on this quote-unquote love that the Pilgrims had for the Africans, though. The murder of Emmett Till was based on a white woman lying on a 15-year-old child. And then it was only last year, I think it was 2016, maybe 2015, the woman came out and admitted that she lied on Emmett Till. But here she cost him his life.
And cost the baby to get his face bashed in.
Shot and bashed in.
And because you
thrown
lied.
in the Tallahatchie River down in Money, Mississippi.
Now, bust it.
Black Wall Street was burnt down.
Now, but look.
Based on a white woman lying.
Now, people, right? That's one story out of the millions that we are never going to hear.
The Scottsboro boys. The 14-year-old that was electrocuted in South Carolina, George Stinney. I mean, the list goes on and on.
But the deal is, when you talk like this, when you talk about what we're talking about, we're ostracized. But when the fuck don't I speak up for black people?
But now here's the thing too, because this whole conversation right now is in defense of black women. And for some reason, that's where the most opposition come from. I can't get it. I'm sorry that, sisters, that a lot of the men in y'all family didn't hold y'all down. I'm sorry your brothers was cowards, your father was a deadbeat. I'm sorry for that. That's not our fault. But what we're talking about is the protection and the love of black women. Because what's happening now is they're trying to replace black women. You got a white woman like Rachel Dolezal that can say she's transracial, she's a black woman. You got a transvestite. What's that dude name? I don't know. That actor dude.
I don't know.
It thinks it's a woman. Something Cox.
Damn.
Yeah, right. Go figure. But now you got transvestite men claiming to bleed black women, to bleed black, be black women, and you got
Sean King.
You got white women.
What's the other dude named Sean King, right?
Sean King.
The other dude, he not black either. The dude with the glasses, the white dude.
But I'm talking about these people saying that they're women. Period. Saying they're black women.
Okay. Oh, got you.
Rachel Dolezal is a white woman parading around as a black woman, and said she's transracial because she got exposed through her parents. For those who don't know who Rachel Dolezal is, she was a white woman who was the head of the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington, I believe it is. And she took a black man to an NAACP dinner saying that was her father. She played a black man to play her father. Her parents saw it on TV and blew her up, called the news like, yo, she ain't black, she fronting. She still tried to run with it. But then you got this Cox character. It's a dude, but he's running, Laverne Cox, that's the name. Laverne Cox is a man running around paraded as a woman and telling people that he's a woman. But what does this say about the true, genuine, authentic black women that give birth to black men? That was the first of the civilizations, the one that nurtured the slaves and the slave masters' baby, the one that fed everybody with little to no money. What does that say about the black women? They're trying to make her obsolete. But if we study documents, if we started studying executive orders that was implemented by Henry Kissinger and the likes, they talked about getting rid of black women. They talk about breaking up the black family. We don't understand what's really happening with us right now, because even during times of slavery, they understood that no matter what they did to us, is that long as our family was intact, we were able to bounce back. That's why they always tried so hard to sell the family and separate the family, because they realized that was our strength. But within that strength, within the strength of the family, the black woman was the nucleus, because she was the nurturer and she was the healer. And she took care of everybody. She took care of the man when he was broke down and beat. She took care of the babies when they were hungry and crying. And even if you go back to times of antiquity, when you do the story of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, it was Isis who bandaged up Osiris again. When his evil brother Set cut him into 14 pieces and scattered him around the planet, it was the black woman, the black goddess Isis, who pulled the black king god right back together and put him back together again. That's where they get the mummification process from. That's where they get the whole process of Jesus being wrapped in linen when he died. there's so much that our story tells about what's going on in the world today, but we don't know the history of who we are because we've been robbed and stripped of that. And so much now that we got to be convinced to love our own women. And if you say you love your woman,
you in trouble.
You're the bad guy.
Yeah, you in trouble.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy? Because what's wrong with loving your own? That don't mean I dislike you. That means I just choose not to fuck with you.
Word.
If you in your house and your family is in your house and your family is hungry and a stranger's hungry, of course you're going to feed your family. That don't mean you don't want to see the other people not eat, but shit, my family come first.
Exactly. It's like when we was doing the cookout in Memorial Day. Remember people was like, yo, can I get something to eat? Say, all my people ain't eat yet.
Word.
After my family eat, then you can eat. But ain't nobody going to eat before my family. What kind of man would I be if I fed some strangers before I fed my family? So with Dr. Umar's whole premise and position, people been trying to tear him down because he's been saying what's necessary for black people to come out of this slumber that we're in. Everybody keep talking about their woke. Yeah, you think you're woke. You're walking around sleepwalking, though, because you're exhibiting the same behaviors that kept us in the rut, not got us in the rut, because it was racism and white aggression that put us in the rut. Let's be clear. But what kept us in the rut was our lack of organization skills. Anytime we had a planned revolt, it was always one of us who sabotaged those efforts. Harriet Tubman said she ran with that gun she had, and I saw the gun down in D.C. It's at the Smithsonian Museum down there. But she said that gun wasn't for the white folks. That gun was for any of these black folks that wanted to turn around and wanted to snitch. Because before you could take care of the enemy outside, you got to deal with the enemy that's within. And that's something that black people can't come to grips with, because anybody with the most money or the biggest smile, we tend to trust them and let them in the folds of what it is we doing for all them. So all they do is just go back and tell the enemy exactly what our plans are. And right now, with social media, everybody divulging their plans on social media. And I think that's the dumbest thing you could do, because if you think we're in a war, if you know that we're in a war, why would you reveal your plans to the enemy? Yeah. That is one of the dumbest things that we do. So when you got a brother like Dr. Umar, who's not trying to go to the government, who's trying to come to the people that it will directly benefit, why do people got a problem with that? Because even when we talk about racism within this country and we start talking about slavery, everybody know that the 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery, but what you're not doing the knowledge to is that slavery wasn't abolished. It's just that the power of slave ownership was transferred from individuals unto the state. The state, the government now controls slavery, because they said slavery is abolished except as a punishment for a crime. But who determines whether you committed a crime or not? The government. So who can exact that punishment of slavery on you? The government. That's what happened, but we're not that smart. We're not as smart as we like to think, because we like to hear ourselves talk as opposed to sitting with those who know better. And instead of asking questions in earnest, we ask questions to debate and challenge those things we don't know. I sat around tons of scholars that said things that I didn't agree with, but I didn't have a leg to stand on to disagree with them. So I just took it. I let it eat me up. Like, yeah, I don't agree. Until I did my own homework and research, and I'm like, oh, that's what they was talking about. I never knew that. And I'm still learning. I'm consistently learning. I'm constantly learning. But the part that's getting me is everybody's acting like they're so scholarly, and you haven't got past the second grade of black liberation theology and history. So every time somebody want to talk about somebody in a struggle, like when they brought up Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier, brought up them in the Roland Martin interview with Dr. Umar, and I laughed because they must not have known that Harry Belafonte said Sidney Poitier was a sucker and he wasn't working with him no more. Yeah. Harry Belafonte said that. So y'all acting like y'all calling out real revolutionaries. Everybody knew Sidney Poitier was soft. Harry Belafonte said, yo, some things was jumping off down in Selma. He told Sidney Poitier, yo, let's get some bread together. We got to go down there and hold down Dr. King and send him some money. Sidney Poitier was like, all right, we can send him some bread and let's go. Sidney Poitier wanted to stay in the hotel. Harry Belafonte's like, nah, we stay with the people. We stay in the mix of things. And it was popping off. Sidney Poitier bounced and left Harry Belafonte. Said, look, next time you want to do something like that and you think of calling me, don't. He said, I'll send you some money, but I ain't going down there no more. Why? Because Sidney Poitier was a coward. Now, this is Harry Belafonte's story, not mine. I wasn't there. So if you're going to talk about Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte and all of these people, let's put it in this proper context, because anybody with money could throw it around like they doing something. But the real work comes into your time and dedication and your fearlessness that you put in the face of adversity to stand up to the enemy. And all these people they was naming really didn't do that.
And even when I look back at like the Roland Martin thing, when he was like, well, why you just don't do a charter school? Why you just don't do this? Why you just don't do that? Let me explain something to you about the Dr. Umar situation, even with the school. If you didn't donate to the school, shut the fuck up. Stop asking him what he did with the fucking money. Because that's like me sitting there watch you give a homeless man something, and then I want to ask the homeless man, are you really going to buy food or you going to buy crack? What the fuck you worried about it for? What it cost you? So everybody's jumping in on a critique of what he did with the money or what he going to do with the money. But people donate to the Red Cross. They give their tithes to church.
All these charities.
What do no? But you giving all, listen, and I don't want to seem like I'm anti-church, but people give all this money to the church, and what the fuck do the church do for you? You understand? This is the point that I'm making. But
No comments.
again, with Dr. Umar, he's on the front line. He's on the spotlight. He's under the spotlight. So the criticism is going to be big. I just think that it's really, really sad that the criticism comes from his own people, when I know for a fact he's definitely fighting for his people. Now, he does have some flaws in his character that can be tweaked, but we all do, though. I curse too fucking much.
We all are working.
I like talking about pussy. I like talking about getting my dick sucked. I like talking about shit like that. That's not scholarly, but I don't pretend to be a scholar. You know what I'm saying?
Nor claim to be one.
Nor claim to be one. And how he conducted himself and carried himself was very scholarly. Maybe some of the Facebook videos he do sometimes, he maybe could fall back on that. But I just know that he feel like he's vibing with his people. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Because shit, what if Malcolm was alive and they had Facebook? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what he would have been saying? I doubt if he would have, spoke a certain way, but he definitely would have had people ears. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is too with black people, and I've said this thousands of times, is that we're always looking for a leader for us to character assassinate. We look for a leader for black people. Black people look for a leader for us, and then when we get one, we assassinate them. And we let the media assassinate them and control how we should think about them, and then we run with it. You know what I'm saying? And then the fight is not even him fighting white supremacy anymore. He's fighting black people, which is still fighting white supremacy without even knowing it. Because now you're doing the job of the white supremacist fighting him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for me, right? I don't agree with many things that people say. But sometimes I know we're in the same fight. You understand what I'm saying? So if he gonna throw a rock and I'm gonna throw a knife, at the end of the day, we still both fighting. Now, I might want him to throw a knife the way I'm throwing a knife, but if he gonna throw a rock and bust somebody in their fucking head, who the fuck am I to say, yo, why you throwing rocks?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? I just think a lot of times that we want people to do things the way we want them to do it, and if they're not appeasing us, then we're upset. But we had people who came before us and acted like they was for us for years and ain't do shit.
Word.
Ain't do shit, but we
Shout
don't
out
even.
to Al Sharpton.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even talk bad about them no more. You know what I'm saying? Where a dude is taking selfies and fucking playing on Instagram and shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's where we at in Revolution in 2017. But you know why a dude could do that? Because he got that bag. Because he get into the money. So once somebody get to the money, listen, A.A. Rashid said the realest shit. The struggle come from your belly.
Word.
Hunger makes you struggle. Hunger is the biggest struggle you could ever deal with. When you fed, when you got food, you ain't fucking struggling no more.
You start getting lazy.
When you could afford to eat every day, that's a different type of struggle. Because what's the first thing you say to somebody? Yo, you eating. Yo, he eating.
Yeah.
That just became a slang. It became a phrase dealing with somebody who was doing well. Yo, they eating over there.
They eating, yeah. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? When the motherfucker ain't eating, listen, he's at the worst state they could ever be in.
The fangs are out.
You understand what I'm saying? Everybody look like food, everything, because motherfuckers not eating. And I mean literally not eating.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So the funniest thing is Dr. Umar, I just think it's kind of fucked up when you're in a position that you're speaking for people and your facts is right and exact. You know what I'm saying? You're saying shit that's right and exact. Yeah. And then you're attacked by black people. And it's like, damn, now we hate Dr. Umar now?
It's crazy.
Well, you know, our folks been hating on Dr. Umar now because, you know, within this conscious arena, there's always been a jockeying for position. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be the premier scholar, but nobody really has they don't have the resume because it's not done from an authentic place. A lot of people jump in the ring out of frustration because, I mean, we do love our people and we do want to see them do better, but many people think that they're the only one. Many people are so egotistical and self-centered, and they don't realize that you literally have to work with people. You know, I always say if I had Dr. Umar's ear, what I would suggest to him is that as he go from city to city, just fundraise for those people that already got African-centered independent schools, because that's what he's looking to build. But there's independent African schools all over the country. In fact, I got to give a shout out to my elder, Dr. Walimu Baruti, and the Akobin Institute. Anybody ever want to donate? You want to donate to an African-centered school? Look up Akobin House, AKOBENHOUSE.com. That's AkobenHouse.com. That's Dr. Walima Baruti, MWALIMU
You know what's crazy because
hold on, I spelled that wrong. BARUTI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing too,
Baba Baruti.
with Dr. Umar, another suggestion he could do, and this is all, you know, it's just suggestions. He doesn't have to listen to us, but to make it easier for him, he can fundraise or donate to a lot of African center schools.
And that's my point.
And then give them a curriculum.
Yes, that's what I was going to say next.
Because a lot of places don't have curriculums and they don't have courses.
Well, you know what? Some of them do. Many of them do.
Well, what he want to do,
right?
He could give them a course. So they have exactly. So they have a curriculum. I'm wrong. They have a curriculum, but he could, for what he's trying to do, where he's trying to tear down with white supremacy and rebuild black boys, he can give them the blueprint of this is my idea. So now, if you have that in 40 schools across the globe, across the United States, that's far better than in one school. Because if you have in one school, you're easily to be scrutinized and easily to be attacked. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you remember when Oprah so-called built the school for Africa. Look at all the controversy that shit was marred in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing they're going to do is try to take the shit down. Yep. You know, so like I said.
And I also want to give a shout out to our brother Marcus Klein, you know what I'm saying, out there in Chicago. Shout out to the brother Marcus Klein in the Freedom Academy.
Okay.
There's so many people that's doing great things, and that's why I say that folks, that he should link up with them, because two heads are better than one. You know what I'm saying? In areas that he may be weak in, other people may be strong. Where they may be weak, he may be strong. And you just come together with the best of ideas. But when you think you know it all and you got it all figured out, and not saying that that's Dr. Umar's position, I'm talking about for anybody within the movement, any leader, you know what I'm saying? That's where you already lost. Because if we're supposed to be African-centered and based in African thought, then we should understand African sayings. And then you got the saying Ubuntu, Ubuntu. You know what I'm saying? Where we have to share, where it's all about a collective effort. You know, if we go together, we go a lot further. Go alone, you go a lot faster. We have a long way to go, so we need to go together because we got to get very far. We in a 500-year deficit. And we're regressing ourselves based on what's being fed to us. When I'm talking about fed to us, when I'm talking about the diet, I'm not just talking about the food that we're eating. I'm talking about the music we're listening to, the shows we watch,
the mental food.
The mental food, our level of information. or things that we perceive to be important information, things that don't do us any well. So even when Dr. Umar was talking about, when he was on the Breakfast Club, when he was saying that it's better to have a skill than a degree, he was 100% right, because you can't eat that paper. I worked a minimum wage job when I was a teenager, right next to a dude who was working with me part-time who had a college degree because he couldn't find a job. See, because college don't teach you how to create your own. It just teach you how to be effective for the businesses that's already established. Yes. But if we understand the powers that be that run these corporations, then we would already know that a lot of these things are already predetermined, predestined, and already established. A Rhodes Scholar is named after the racist called Cecil Rhodes, who helped exploit Africa, who is down with the quote-unquote Illuminati, because I hate using that word, Illuminati.
The enlightened ones?
Yes. He was down with the New World Order. You know what I'm saying? Cecil Rhodes, and that's why they call you a Rhodes Scholar. To become a lawyer, you got to pass the bar. BAR's British Accredited Registry.
I didn't know that's what
Yeah.
I did not know that's what.
That's what the bar stands for.
Say that
British
again?
Accredited Registry.
Wow.
So you have to be recognized by the British Crown. You have to be recognized by Europeans in order to be vetted as somebody worth something. But then we always got to look at how the Europeans get into power. It wasn't because of intelligence. And I got to keep telling people they're not smarter. They're more brutal and conniving.
Have no soul.
Everything they have is because they stole it. They came with guns and swords. That's how they got it. Not intelligence. And then after they murdered everybody, they taught the children that they were smart. Because this is why Dr. Umar don't want a charter school either. Because what kind of education are you going to get within a Eurocentric school? Because our history will always tell us that we came as slaves. It will constantly say that. Or that in Africa we were savages. They won't talk about the high culture and high society that we had. They won't talk about our high level of spirituality because they can't identify with it. And those that do are the ones that they call Illuminati. They just take our spiritual system and use them for evil. But the point is that so many people are lost in this falsified information that means nothing to them, that bears them no relevance, can't feed their family or anything. People think that's valuable, as opposed to learning how to build your own home, make your own clothes, and grow your own food, because that's all you need: food, clothing, and shelter.
Yep.
If you know how to do that, you will never be jammed up.
Now, I wanted to build on something, because many of the things that we said here is not new. We've said that on this platform plenty of times for years. Just Dr. Umar's situation is just something that we're talking about because that's current. But basically, everything that we're talking about is things that we talked about before plenty of times. But I find that what we're talking about is long, drawn out, and boring to some. Because we're in a day and time where people have to be entertained
fast,
or they don't care. Like, what's going on with other people is more important than talking about this, because a lot of our people have already given up. Or they're just going with, I'm just going to go to work tomorrow. Or I'm going to hashtag, or I'm going to chime in on shit that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I know how to type, and that's it. But you have people who have been giving you the blueprint to fight the fight, but there's strength in numbers. And that's the problem. The numbers is always fucked up. Because the numbers always look good, but if you look at the movie 300, it wasn't about the numbers. It was how many was really going to be in the fight.
Right.
I don't want 10,000 cowards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of people who are cowardly based off of the stupid-ass infighting because we can't stand on the united front, pun intended. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. We so busy worried about what we don't agree on opposed to what we do agree on. Like when I had my discrepancy with Lord Jamal, what did I say to him? I said, yo, I agree with you more than I disagree with you. So I don't want to have an issue with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let the minute things that I disagree with outweigh and magnify over what I do agree with, because that's off math. But see, we so emotional and so broken that we mad at the wrong fucking people, truthfully. The people who did the raping, the robbing, the stealing, the the mental abuse, the physical abuse, and everything to us, we not even mad at them though. How can you
Because it's the norm, it's the way of life.
This is what I'm saying, but it goes back to what Tab was saying was, how can you get mad? Everybody know that I'm not into interracial dating. I said that shit on this show since you met me, Inf.
Yeah.
But I never said fuck them. No, they're just not for me. How can you get mad? Listen, that's like me saying, everybody who know me know I don't eat chicken legs, I don't eat fucking eggs, and I don't drink milk. And I never have.
Wow.
Right? How you gonna get mad at me because I don't want to eat chicken legs?
It's a preference, yeah.
This is the point that I'm making. And how does that harm anybody? That's not detrimental to what I want to put into my body. It's not even detrimental to society. Because you do have people who might try to say, well, I want to do this and when I'm going to do that, how could you be mad at me? Because that shit is detrimental to other people and society. What I'm saying, what I consume, who I choose to procreate with, it could be detrimental to society, which is my society, because we always say society it is, society that, but we make up society though. It's not some fucking some spooky door called society that you go in there. You are a part of society.
Society.
Word.
Every last one of us is a stat, whether we like it or not. Every last one of us is an analytic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One way or another. When you fill out any fucking application, you became a stat. You know, so at the end of it all, people are mad at people for saying, if a white guy say, I don't want to date black women, hey, so fucking what? White people are not gonna get mad at him. If a white man says, I believe white men should be with white women, white women are not gonna say, that's fucked up. You could love who you want to love. They're gonna be like, whatever.
Yeah.
When a black man says, I only want to date black women get fucking mad at you. Black men get mad at you. When a black woman says, because there's a lot of black women out there that's saying they only want a black man, they get attacked. How can you get attacked for loving your own? How could you get attacked? How could I get attacked for saying I love my first cousin and I don't know these other motherfuckers? How you gonna get mad at me for loving my family? Because as black people, we are family.
Wait a minute, people are mad at
Dr. Umar for saying that he doesn't believe in interracial dating.
And it was a black woman.
Oh
who
yeah,
attacked
I saw
him.
that interview on the Breakfast.
No.
Yeah.
No, not just the Breakfast
Not
Club
that one?
on TV1 on
Okay.
Roland Martin show.
He said he didn't believe in interracial dating.
Right,
Okay.
but he was attacked by a black woman for that. It was a black woman who attacked him, but she looked like she liked women anyway.
Exactly.
Particularly white folks. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
it is funny because we are always defending white supremacy. I heard that when I was a child. I always heard that. And you know, before my young mind could grasp it, I was like, that don't make no sense. How could black people defend white people better than white people? But understanding the slave mentality and the conditions, because we can't fathom what was done on them plantations. We don't know how black folks were shipped over here. And that's another thing that killed me, because I hear a lot of people, yeah, slavery was fake, slavery never happened, white folks tricked us and made us believe. Then how the hell we get here, and how in the hell we get in these conditions? And how are they that intelligent that they could fabricate it all the way in Africa?
There's people that believe slavery wasn't real.
Yeah, but it's dumb
Black
people.
folks.
But
Black
listen
folks.
though, this is why every now and again, honestly, for me personally, I fall back. Because when you spend too much time in the fucking sewer, some of that stink get on you too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just fall back because I refuse to be dumb. Sometimes I look at dumb to help me realize you came a long way and you're highly intelligent. And I'm grateful that I'm not dumb. But sometimes the dumb is just so overwhelming that I'm like, damn, you stupid too?
And that's social media.
Yeah, and it's social media because everything is based off of what somebody says. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people say dumb shit for attention. Now let me explain something to you. I don't crave attention from people I don't know. I want to talk to somebody. I call my brother. I call my cousin. I call his children. I call his grandchildren. I call a 2-year-old and have a conversation with her about Cold Stone and ice cream and Chuck E. Cheese. Why would I talk to people that I don't know and needing their validation and attention, and I don't know them? I never saw them a day in my life. Now think how asinine and crazy you are to be arguing on the internet and getting your blood pressure raised with somebody you don't fucking know.
It makes no sense. Some people
Just because
really
you don't agree with them or they don't agree with you.
This-
You don't agree with me? Fuck you. Now, if you don't agree with me and you can show me something and you can teach me something, I'm all for it. I'm all ears, eyes wide open, mind open to it. Because I don't know everything. That's why I didn't judge Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Right.
I didn't judge him. I just said, Dr. Boyce Watkins, friend or foe. I don't know enough about him. And I know who my friends are. So certain people's words was going to mean more to me than other people's words, but I let everybody chime in.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I could have said, I don't know, this nigga Dr. Boyce Watkins seemed kind of shaky to me. Always talking that money shit, but he ain't kicking over no bread. Yeah. Because you know how people are. When you talk about money, they automatically want you to give him money. I don't want him to give me shit. But if he's giving financial literacy, I'm like, hold up, I need to fucking look into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we all financially illiterate. Because
Of
we're
course.
taught to be.
We're taught to be, yes. That's how the system is.
That's how the system is. The system is for you to get money
Be
and
a
give all that
perfect-
shit back.
Be a worker bee.
You understand what I'm saying? So I needed validation from other people. You know, because everything used to be about references.
Right.
Yo, if Tag got a shorty, yo, you got a friend? Yeah, I got a perfect friend for you because she not going to bring nothing through that ain't going to be compatible with you. You understand what I'm saying? Everything used to be about references. Now nothing is about references no more. It's just motherfuckers just jumping in the pool, don't even know if there's water in it.
Winging it.
This is what I'm saying. Now I'm still on my reference shit. Yo, what about such and such? Put me on. Then you're going to tell me what you're going to tell me. And then if I want to learn from myself, I'm going to learn from myself. I'm going to go do that. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? But with the response about Dr. Boyce Watkins, it was way more yays than it was nays. And even with the nays, some people had their reasoning why they said nays. So that's something to consider. But I still have to, get a chance to build with that man and judge for myself. You understand what I'm saying? But I understand how it is to be a black man and say, yo, I'm for black people. And everybody's like, fuck you. And that shit is crazy to me because, it's funny. I always expected, like, this is what I said to myself. I said, yo, I'm going to get into this game and I'm going to speak and I'm always going to do as much as I can to enlighten and shine positive light on black people. You still got to balance it with a little bit of the bullshit because balance is everything. But I'm always going to tip the scales a little bit in the favor of us looking good. And I get so much hate and opposition from black people. And I be like, God damn. Then I started saying to myself, hold on. These are white people masquerading as black people to cause confusion. Mm-hmm. Don't forget what the devil's job is. You understand what I'm saying? So some of them people you arguing with are not black people at all. Don't sleep.
And even if they look black on the outside, spiritually and mentally, they're not.
Exactly. Because black definitely is your spirit, your mind state, and how you ready to fight. And a lot of these motherfuckers ain't ready to fight. They just sitting back trying to collect their pension in a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to Dr. Umar
shout
for
out to
holding
Dr.
it down.
And also we have to put out there, me and Tad personally, Dr. Umar, you come to Brooklyn, please check in with one of us. If you have an issue or you need security or you have anything that you need somebody to hold you down, check in with one of us. We'll make sure everything is okay. We could get you security, make sure security is provided for you, and we'll stand there on post ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is really what we do. You know what I'm saying? And I'll extend, if me and you think me and you have any discrepancies, I can let you know right now from my mouth. I have no issues or problem with you. You know what I'm saying? I like what you're doing out there, and I'm proud of what you doing out there, because you getting on that national scale and that national platform, and you ain't playing with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted from you. So I have no choice but to stand with you. I'll be a sucker, a bitch-ass dude, and a hypocrite to see you out there doing that good work and sit there watching and not saying nothing. Because that's what a lot of people do too. They sit there and watch you do a good job and they don't support your efforts. That shit is corny. Stop that watching shit.
Yeah, we definitely got to unify the movement. Everybody know, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people in the movement rock with us, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people rock with Doggie Diamonds TV. A lot of people rock with me because I'm really boots on the ground out here with the people, really with the people.
And boots in your ass too, if need be.
Definitely. Tim's all season for ass kicking reasons. We from Brooklyn. We wear Tim's in July.
Word, they play ball in boots and shit like
Word
that.
up.
The Beef and Broccoli show, like it's for real.
But the fact of the matter is, on some real stuff, you know what I'm saying? I do want to see us unify on our commonalities and not be so divided, because we talk about other black people when we ourselves become those hypocrites when we don't want to work with other black people for little minor discrepancies, because what we're dealing with is it's a giant. We dealing
on a global scale.
Yeah, we dealing a global fight, and we need all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying? Any beef we got, we can hash that out after the fact. You know what I'm saying? It's like with family. You know what I'm saying? You and your brother may not get along, but you ain't gonna let nobody else talk crazy about them. You ain't gonna let nobody else put their hands on them. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all because when you really think about it, and I want to close with this. With us as black people have to realize, we're fighting something that's global because it happened to us all over the planet. We're in America, but it happened in Belgium, it happened in Congo, it happened in so many different continents and countries around the planet. We don't even know what some of our people have went through in other places. We just know what the fuck we go through to this day. But it's people right now that's going through something based off of the system of white supremacy.
Exactly.
And we keep arguing and fighting. And like, Brother Larry said, that shit is slave culture. You teach them to fight each other, so they won't fight you.
Exactly. So all of us are at odds with one another on how we gonna fight this beast, when nonetheless we all gotta attack from every angle we can. Only way we gonna do that is if we have a conversation with one another, sit with each other, and organize on an effective way. We need each other right now.
And kill that ego.
We
kill
need
that
each
ego,
other more
man.
than ever. Yo, shout out to my brother Irritated Genie, because that's the hardest working brother I know in the movement.
Global.
I spent time with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? But this brother do not sleep. I was teasing him the other day because I got a text message from him. He was supposed to be on vacation. I'm like, yo, brother, just enjoy yourself and relax. That man works hard, you know what I'm saying? You can catch the interview with myself, Irritated Genie, and Dr. Umar on Doggie Diamonds YouTube. Doggie Diamonds filmed it. He facilitated it. I mean, we out here. We really out here.
And I was at 10-10-15.
Yeah, we was out there, boots on the ground at 10-10-15, bringing two giants together, and both of them are working hard. That's why, we haven't been able to get the platform where both of them are. But shout out to Doshan Farrar, too. Our brother Doshan Farrar from TV1 just did an excellent interview with the Irritated Genie about the straight black pride movement. Salute to that. I mean, we got a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And also, I'll be in Detroit in July for the Conscious Olympics, hosting the Conscious Olympics in July. So that's what it is. I'm out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Big F, new industry in stores, man. Go get that.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. I got to get the fuck out of here. Thank you for listening to Doggie Diamonds No Filter podcast. If you like this podcast, make sure you share this. Spread the word. Talk about it. Argue with me. I don't give a fuck what you do. Leave a comment. This is Doggie Diamonds. I'm out of here. See you on the next podcast. Peace.
Doggie Diamonds did this.